And welcome back to Jeff Koinange live at the Villa Rosa Kempinski on this Politics 101 Wednesday. And when Njiru, the Uungwana man, shows up, you know, it's like that line from the movie Apollo 13, Houston, we have a problem. As a nation, are we in a moral dilemma? That's what we're asking. Everyone seems to be turning on everyone else. Crucifixion seems to be the order of the day. You pick on a person, crucify.
Frisking our kids.
Remember Barbaras? What was his name? Barabbas.
Yeah, Barabbas.
Barabbas.
Give us Barabbas.
Give us our thief.
No, that's where we are. Unfortunately, that's where we are.
Keep tweeting at Uungwana Kenya, at Koinange Jeff, hashtag moral dilemma.
Yeah.
Njiru calling it like he sees it. A lot of ushenziness happening around here, not just the bench, around here.
But let me say this quickly, Jeff, that I think a number of good things are happening. The other day, I was invited to talk to the security top brass on the question of values. And what I appreciated is that there are people who are trying to lock down the question of values. Because without values, by the way, it doesn't matter how much hardware you buy for the police, but the policeman is or rather the gun that you buy for the policeman is as good as the man behind the gun.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Which brings me to the comment the president made some time back when he asked, what can I do?
Yeah.
And the president said, I have given these guys everything. What can I do?
What can I do?
And I really would like to encourage the president. And I think what we can do now is basically add on to the hardware the software. The way we've bought cameras, which are good, and they're hopefully they'll be able to give us what we want. And by the way, again, the camera is as good as the man behind it, because then if you have a Mushenzi, he'll be playing cards on the screen rather than watching Nairobi, solitaire and stuff like that.
Yes.
I mean, I keep saying, if you think about a city like London, I'm told it's the most watched place on earth.
Yes.
Yet you don't see those cameras, but I'm told
but they're everywhere.
They're everywhere. In a day, you are picked about 10 times. They can be able to say you are there.
Yes.
And those are the type of cameras we have here.
Deny it.
But then again, they're as good as the people behind them. And so for me, I think we need to critically create a national movement that basically, and this is what we've been trying to do with Uungwana, that basically talks to this whole question of values. Because if we don't do that, then we'll have missed the point. And what makes me happy, Jeff, is when I travel across this country, doesn't matter whether I go to Kisumu. The other day I was out in, across the country, Mombasa, everywhere. People stop me and they say, that Uungwana thing you're doing is what we need. Keep doing it. In fact, they say, we pray for you. I remember another time I told you, I was in, I stopped in Busia at the shoe shiner's place, and they kept me there for about 45 minutes. I'm stopped by people on the streets, that thing you're talking about, which means that people are ready. And as I'm talking and, encouraging the president, I would like to tell him that we Kenyans are ready. We're waiting for your call. I want him to remember when he decided to take on the alcoholic fellows, and people basically cleared it. Women, the way women go and pour out that alcohol, whether people think it is good or bad, but it addresses a critical problem which, if you try and go it another way, then you find you are unable to resolve it.
Let me stop you there, Ken, and ask you this.
Yeah.
A lot of people have a lot of goodwill in the president.
Yes.
But the one question they keep saying, or the one thing they would want to see, is that one person being arrested.
Yeah.
Arrest that one big name.
Yeah.
Throw him in the slammer.
Yeah.
Forget about the Constitution for a while.
Yes.
Throw him in there.
Yeah.
Let him spend a weekend in committee or wherever.
Yeah.
Freeze the assets.
Yeah.
Because corruption, my brother.
Yeah.
Corruption has just it's gone out of control.
Jeff, and I what I'll say is a bit controversial.
Go on.
Globally, you're a well-traveled man. If you look at America in the 1800s, 1700s, there were people who were called the robber barons. People, even J.F. Kennedy's father was a bootlegger.
He was a bootlegger.
He basically
selling
told alcohol,
which was illegal.
People basically did things that they shouldn't have been doing. In fact, J.P. Morgan is a bank that has been set up on illegal money, just like how Barclays Bank, for instance, when you dig deep, you find the bank was basically formed on slave trade money. You and me being sold. And that's a fact. That's a historical fact. I think a nation needs to get to a point and say, let us stop this ushenzi. I call it the lustration principle, all right? And I say that because a lot of this money we're talking about basically goes to build churches, by the way. The other day I was having a conversation with my good canon, and we were wrestling with the whole question of how we treat money that has been stolen and brought to the church. And she told me the Bible says that if a person brings money like that to the church, then it should be used to buy cemeteries. And so we were wondering, what is the modern semblance of cemeteries? So that if we know you've stolen money, then we buy cemeteries with it. We cannot build the church of God with stolen money.
No.
And the Bible is very clear about that, all right? And so for me, Jeff, the real thing here is understanding that when a nation, the soul is not corrupt, but when a nation's mind has been corrupted, it becomes very difficult even to take these things through court.
It does.
And I'm talking about a scenario where right down to the grassroots, there is corruption. So just shooting one guy or two guys or three guys most probably won't resolve.
But at the same time, Ken,
Yes.
Kenyans
Yes.
are very law-abiding.
Yeah.
If they see one person has been thrown in the slammer, I'm telling you, man, everyone will, it's like what you were talking about a few shows we've done before.
Yes.
We talk about overlapping.
Yeah.
And you point out people. And
Yes.
people take pictures of cars that are overlapping.
Yeah,
Put it on social media.
Yeah.
Those people stop overlapping.
No. One thing I agree, by the way. I am not saying don't address this question. But I'm saying that as the lead strategy really works. And it's been proved globally. But then we need to agree. For instance, if we decide it's a lustration principle, and I think they've done it in some countries like even Nigeria. First of all, if we know we have your money somewhere, bring it back.
Yes.
In fact, people are usually given time to bring back
Bring
the
it
money.
all back.
And then we draw a line and say, ukivuka hapa, even 1 shilling. This is what we that is I have been fighting with a situation in a school that I chair, where the more you fight, the more you wonder, what the hell am I doing? You report this matter and seemingly somebody's greased somewhere.
They block you.
They block you. And I'm getting to the point where I'm asking, must we go to the streets for a guy like that to be removed? Because it seems that's the only avenue we've been left to, as Kenyans. But then I'm saying, we don't have to. But we have to find those good people, because I know they are good people, for instance, in the Ministry of Education. But there are very many, by the way, who are in that gravy train. You know, just like the police situation, where a constable is saying, I sent money to somebody in the police station,
Yes.
and he starts saying it was Harambe, or it was, I don't know what, Sako. It is happening even in this ministry.
Can it be stopped, Ken?
It can be stopped. You know one thing I keep saying, Jeff, and I fundamentally believe that, and I've said it many times, God has made us fearfully and wonderfully. And if I may reference my religion, my Christian faith, it says, we have not been given the spirit of fear, but of power, of love, and of sound mind. What does sound mind mean? It means we can think. We've been given the power to resolve these things. We are also told it must be of the spirit to save the flesh. We are not told it must be of gold and diamonds to save the flesh. No. A fool. In fact, Waswahili wanasema cha mulevi huliwa na mgema. Meaning, if you are a drunkard, because we are spiritual drunkards right now, we don't even know whether we are coming. The people who make money out of us are the guys outside there. I mean, look at now what we are calling our roads here. Who's building our roads? The Chinese.
Chinese.
Who's building our buildings?
Chinese.
The Chinese. And I keep on saying, and I'm being sarcastic on this one, maybe if our seed is bad, then we should allow the Chinese right in to our bedrooms. Maybe they'll moderate the seed business, and maybe we'll get better DNA. But
Right.
let me tell you, I don't believe we're rotten. But we must understand what it means to be human. The Chinese basically have struggled. They have done what they call their cultural. By the way, what changed the Chinese under Mao Zedong was a cultural revolution.
Yes. By the way, I was in, I'm not just name dropping, I was in Vienna this past weekend.
Yeah.
And there was a conference about industrialization.
Yeah.
30 years ago.
Yeah.
1985, 86.
Yeah.
Nobody
Yeah.
could have predicted where China would be today.
Yeah, yeah.
Nobody in that room
Yeah.
would have said that China would be the biggest economy in the world today.
Yeah.
Nobody.
Nobody.
It changed. And they were saying, Africa, you
Yeah.
people, 1 billion of you, and economies and education and brilliant, smart minds. What's to stop us?
Jeff, the amount of energy we are trying we are using just to fix a small school, which has a layer upon layers of officials who are feeding from it.
Makes no sense.
That is what is killing us. In one school here, in one shamba there, in one government office there, on the road here, total nonsense.
And that's just one microcosm.
That's one microcosm.
Imagine the rest of the country.
And that's what is happening across. And it's not because we are bad people. And by the way, many times we keep on saying the president. We are all moral agents. Let me tell you, because I believe in my Christian faith, I'm told there will be a judgment day. Let me tell you, when you go to heaven and you ask Jeff, why were you stealing from my people? You start saying, Uhuru didn't imprison me. Uhuru didn't do.
Yes.
Let me tell you, my friend, you shall be sent to hell.
Straight.
We are all moral agents, and we must start in the home. And by the way, as we are frisking our kids in the school, it means the home has failed.
Yes, yes.
And first of all, let me even challenge women. We no longer know what it means to be a man. We think being a man is running around with small schoolgirls. Left, right, and center. And by the way, this is being done by leaders.
Yes.
We must understand what it means to be made in God's image and to be made fearfully and wonderfully. You know, my late father used to tell me that a poor man is not a man who doesn't have money in the pocket. A poor man is a man whose spirit has been impoverished. And the spirit of this country is systematically becoming impoverished. Not because of one or two people, but because of our whole collectivity.
And then the rest of them, they see people getting away with stuff.
Yeah.
And they want to go in the trough.
Yeah, yeah.
Everyone wants a piece of what's in the trough.
But you know, by the way, we crucify government too much. When your child steals from your house, takes a sweet that he was not meant to take, or money that he didn't take, do you start saying the government is not in your house? Let me tell you,
It's you.
if you fix your kid, they will never go out to steal. But you know what? We tell our kids it's wrong to steal, and then you go and steal.
Yes. Yes.
And then even your kid cannot explain where the money came from. He's flossing, but he knows there are gaps here. And so he does what you did, and it becomes one big cycle. Can it be reversed? It can be reversed. In fact, let me tell you, Jeff, and I want to tell this nation this. True leadership is not about building bridges and things like that. As leaders in a government, true leadership is lifting the moral quotient of the people, and then the people build the bridges. And I've said here before that America has not been built by government per se. No. Railroads, the oil they started mining, infrastructure,
Roads.
Electricity, by the way, it
Yeah,
was
power,
individuals, it was
power.
no Kenya Power,
No.
it was Kina JP Morgan. Why? Because there was that moral assent. And that's what we're lacking in this country. So that people are just sitting there saying, naomba serikali. Others want 45% of the sweat of others. Let's eat. Instead of asking, how do we produce?
For the future generations.
Wahenga wanasema, ukitegemea cha ndugu yako, utakufa maskini. You'll die a poor man.
Utakufa maskini.
Maskini. And that's what we've been doing.
Ken, let's read a couple of tweets before we go to breaks. Powered by LG Signature OLED 4K. Not a bad TV, yeah?
Yeah, no, I love it, man.
Yeah, Apollo Rama, you say, if we can get...
When are you upgrading? I can take this.
If we can get 10 Uungwana men, like Ken, I guess, Kenya could have been a better place. I tell you, keep it up. Ken, that's you, man. Uungwana-ness.
Thank you.
And then Apollo Vanilla.
Yeah.
Vanilla, that's his, vanilla?
Yeah, I like the one.
All right, as opposed to
Apollo,
strawberry
you've got a good
or...
name, man.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Ushenzi of our leaders is dragging Kenya behind. And Kenya, you say Ushenzi is glorifying Mtuwetu syndrome when they break the law and are taken to court. That's right.
And by the way, the interesting thing is, this is not just happening politically. Even in that small school that I'm talking about,
Yes.
once you tap somebody and say you are doing something that is wrong, his tribal people come around him.
Yes, they circle.
They circle.
Yeah, they circle the wagons.
We are being finished. That must end. That must end.
Alan Kinyo says Kenyans are treating cancer with Panado. We will soon die out of it. All right, keep tweeting at Uungwana Kenya, at Koinange Jeff, the hashtag moral dilemma. That is so true, folks. We are in a moral dilemma. And by the way, I was telling you about Vienna, right?
Yeah.
Remember Adolf Hitler? We're talking about Adolf Hitler?
Yep.
He had a book he had written, his memoirs, called
Mein Kampf.
Mein Kampf, exactly.
Mein
My
Kampf.
Struggle.
Yeah, My Struggle.
Right?
Yeah.
Do you know that book is available? It was banned for 70 years.
Yeah.
It's available in the streets of Vienna now. You can buy Mein Kampf.
You know, and the reason is simple. There is a huge gap. By the way, globally, there is a leadership problem.
Hold that thought. Hold that thought, because we need to talk about that and where we're going. 2017 is around the corner, brother.
Yeah.
Let's take a break. Jeff Koinange live at the Villa Rosa Kempinski. I hope you're listening, and I hope you're telling someone who knows someone who has someone who's watching something else. Tune in to Jeff Koinange live. I tell you, Njiru calling it like he sees it. Back in a moment.